What is up, everyone, and welcome to my DCU Phase 1. With that out of the way, let's get straight into this. The first film will be called Superman Man of Tomorrow, kicking off the DCU with Superman. We would recast him, and the film would feature Superman establishing himself in the world, similar to Superman the Animated Series. It would be similar to Man of Steel, but I would change it greatly. Superman is trying to establish himself as a hero and still get a handle on this new world. Supporting characters like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen would also be introduced as part of the film. We would also get numerous flashbacks to Superman landing on Earth and his rocket crashing. But the focal point of this film is Clark learning to be a hero. He will be helping people, but only as a friend. At the end of the film, he overcomes this and becomes the hero we all know. The main antagonist of this film will be Lex Luthor, a corrupt businessman who hates Superman because he is an alien, and I would base his portrayal along the lines of Lex Luthor in Supergirl. He is corrupt, but hates Superman because he is everything he isn't, so he will hire John Corbin as a mercenary to kill Superman. Corbin will fail, and as he almost dies, Luthor saves his life and turns him into the mercenary known as Metallo. I imagine Corbin being the physical challenge for Superman, while Luthor is the man behind the scenes who lurks in the background, controlling all the players. In the final battle, Superman manages to defeat Metallo and gains the public's trust, becoming a hero, but this film also sets Lex Luthor up as the next villain of the next film. We get a mid-credits scene, though, about introducing us to Batman and Gotham City, setting up the next film. The next project will be an animated series called Superman's Pal, Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy will take a main protagonist role, and the entire series will focus about him as the main center point. I imagine the tone of the series very lighthearted, as it focuses on Superman and Jimmy having adventures, but the main villains of this show will be the Fourth Wall, where Darkseid will be hinted at but not shown. The next film will be called Batman and Robin, paying off that setup and giving us a much more darker tone. This will be Dick Grayson's first year as Robin, taking inspiration from the comic Robin Year One. The main antagonist of this film will be Jervis Tetch, aka the Mad Hatter, a lesser-known Batman villain who is controlling a main portion of his operations through drug trafficking. The District Attorney Harvey Dent will have a cameo in this film where he helps Batman. However, we can see signs that he's already disfigured as he wears a bandage over his face. At the end of the second act, we learn that the Mad Hatter is responsible for abducting several children and brainwashing them, which forces Robin to be at the forefront of this story. The film ultimately reaches its climax with Batman teaching Robin his ways in crime fighting. The next film will be titled World's Finest. At this point, both Batman and Superman have had various adventures, so this will be when their stories intertwine, as now they will be connecting. On the Superman side of things, Clark and Lois have been dating for a while now, and Clark is working up the courage to tell her his identity, while an organization known as Intergang has been selling weapons on the streets. Batman, meanwhile, will be tracking the villain Scarecrow to Metropolis, bringing him into contact with Superman. They will fight at first, and this leads to both of them discovering each other's secret identities. The Scarecrow ends up making a deal with Bruno Mannheim, offering to sell his fear gas in exchange for better weaponry to protect himself against Batman. The film reaches its finale when Superman and Batman work together to defeat the Scarecrow's fear bomb and arrest him, and Clark eventually tells Lois his secret at the end of the film and proposes to her. There will be an end credits funny scene where the Flash is introduced in this universe, hinting he already knows Superman, as Superman and the Flash have a race for charity, and it will be a tie. We are then led into our next project, which is a TV series about the Flash. After his cameo in Superman, the Flash will have been 5 years older in his career, and he's already training his apprentice, Wally West, who will be Kid Flash. The main villains of the series will be the Rogues, led by Captain Cold, full of Villain of the Week arcs. This show will just be a way to introduce the Flash into the wider universe, but also to expand this show a little bit more and expand this universe. The next film will be called Wonder Woman, and it will be almost an exact replica of the film, as that was perfect, but the third act will be different. The twist in this movie will be that Ares is just a red herring for the original villain, who will be Dr. Poison. The film will culminate in a final battle with Dr. Poison and Wonder Woman, where Wonder Woman appeals to her good side and convinces her not to use the poison gas. And in present day, instead of a secretary, Diana will be more publicly known as Wonder Woman to the world. The final film in this universe will be Justice League, as it brings every single hero together. From all of them will end up teaming up to stop the main villain, which is an android called Amazo, created by a scientist named Morgan Edge. The League eventually manages to defeat Amazo, as they will destroy it, and the film will end. There will be a post-credits scene, however, that a new League is being made by Lex Luthor, and he will recruit Slade Wilson to the team. There will be another post-credit scene which shows that Darkseid has big plans for the world, as he is lurking in the shadows.